Hello, my name is Erin Fry, and I'm a senior social media strategist here at Two Rivers Marketing. I'm here with our social media dream team to talk about social media and the impacts it has on our agency. So to begin, I'd like us all to describe what it was like to be a social media marketer in 2020 using emojis.
The first one would have to be the mind blown emoji because, of course, I think we could all say that. And then probably flames, and of course the toilet paper just kind of kicks it all off.
I would say one of the emojis that represents 2020 to me is the thinking face, this one, because there were a lot of things that happened over the course of the year that required us to slow down and really think things through and make sure that we were considering all the implications and all of our options before moving forward. I think the grimacing face was also a good emoji for 2020 because there are lots of things that were unexpected where we just had to react and kind of, get our bearings and move forward.
For me, I'd have to go with the sweaty smiley face emoji and the woman dancing vigorously emoji. 2020 proved to be a very wild year with a lot of unknowns. So being flexible and just willing to roll with the punches was really important throughout this year. And I think these emojis really capture that.
At some point in 2020, we could have used every single emoji in the book. But I think the two that I used throughout mostly were the upside down smiley face and the shoulder shrug, because we just really had to go with the flow and shrug off a lot of things and keep trucking through to the end of the year.
For me, I would say it was definitely the roller coaster emoji. So a lot of ups and downs and unexpected winds and turns throughout the year. Definitely the face palm, all the things in 2020, just face palm. And then weary face.
Yeah, and I'd have to say I agree with all of you. I probably used all those emojis at least once or twice. But the two emojis that really stood out in 2020 for me would be the mind blown emoji and then the upside down smiley face, really just rolling with the punches and being thrown into new situations and figuring out how to navigate them. So next, we're going to talk a little bit about the trends we're tracking. So if you could each share a trend that you're tracking and that you're passionate about on social media this year.
Anything TikTok related really stood out to me in 2020. That really was a great year for acceleration for TikTok, and a lot of brands across the board kind of got on that train too, especially going into Instagram, even with highlights, and then specifically with the reels, seeing those trends cross over. So I'm very interested to see with trends changing, basically each week, how brands can keep up with that and maximize that for the rest of 2021.
And one thing that I'm really interested in following this year in 2021 is challenge content. We saw in 2020 that things like the Dolly Parton challenge really took off, and there just seemed to be a lot of different memes that encouraged people to share their own content to contribute to that larger conversation. And so I'm really excited to see how that continues to develop. And one place I'm noticing that a lot is in Facebook groups. One of the Facebook groups that I'm part of, Dog Spotting Society, seems to have a new challenge every week, whether it's the model challenge or the pretty eyes challenge. People are asked to post a photo of their dog or a dog that they see with a specific hashtag, and then thousands of people contribute and join in and participate by sharing their photo with that hashtag in the Facebook group. So I'm excited to see the different places that we start to see that challenge content continue to grow, whether it's on Instagram, in Facebook groups, or any other social channel.
Another big trend that we saw kind of emerge in 2020 was the boom of virtual and live stream events. I know personally, I tuned into several live stream events and a live stream concert, which was really cool. So I'm just really excited to see how those continue to evolve and how each social platform really adapts to being more kind of inclusive of this trend.
And kind of similar, couple things I'm looking similar to Ava is short TikTok type content. But another thing I'm really kind of looking for this year is how data privacy changes and how that changes the paid social landscape, and how we can really connect with our target audiences across different brands. So it'll be interesting to kind of work through some of those challenges in this coming year.
Definitely, Jess, and I agree. I'm definitely tracking with you on iOS 14.5 and IDFA and all of the regulations that we deal with in our social media roles every day. I think for me, another trend that I've always kind of followed and I'm really following this year is user-generated content and UGC in stories. So Instagram is definitely the channel that I'm personally most active on, and I think a lot of people are in 2021. So I just love following influencers and brands on that channel and seeing how they're connecting with their audiences through UGC and really leveraging the content that their fans and their audiences are creating for their own efforts. So I think that's something we'll continue to keep tabs on as well.
And this should come as no shock to my fellow Dream Team members, but a trend that I'm tracking and super passionate about is employee advocacy, which is when brands harness the power of their employees to help amplify their messaging. So I think this is a really powerful tool that we're seeing more and more companies take advantage of, and there are more platform features available to support these types of programs. So it's something I'm definitely tracking throughout the rest of the year and probably into next year. And we will kind of end this little Dream Team video here by talking about what we like most about working on our social media Dream Team at Two Rivers Marketing.
Absolutely. There's a lot of really great things to say, but I think one of the biggest benefits of having our Dream Team here is within the agency is that we all have very different clients and very different background experiences. So while we all have, social media somewhere in our titles, that means very different things to each one of us. So having people available at any time to answer questions, to have different knowledge really makes each one of us a stronger team member.
I think building on that, it can be really hard when you work in social media because everything is changing every single day, and it can feel tough to stay on top of things and understand new platform features and best practices and those sorts of things. And so it's great to have people at the agency on this team who are passionate about different things in the social media space and that I can turn to if I have questions or just need another perspective. So I know that if I have a question about something on TikTok, I'm going to talk to Ava about that. Or if I am interested in something related to employee advocacy, I know Erin's going to have some great examples or ideas. And it's just nice to know that I don't have to know everything. I can focus on the things that I'm most passionate about and then have great team members that I can turn to when I need a second opinion or need some additional support or ideas.
Yeah, and to really echo what Nora and Ava said, being a part of a team that is just honestly so smart and so savvy has just been really wonderful. It's a great feeling to know that if you need a source expert on a new social trend, just anything really, we have that and we have somebody to bounce ideas off of. So that has just enabled us to really do some great work throughout this year and work in the future.
We're going to sound a bit like a broken record, but everybody on this team is so crazy smart and they want to see everyone succeed. And so it's great to have that support system and have these amazing coworkers that will jump in and help you no matter what without questioning it. So being a part of the Dream Team is a dream.
I couldn't agree with you guys more. Definitely, it's the passion and the drive for me. Everyone on our team is truly passionate and loves what they do, and it shows through in their everyday work. We're definitely always stepping up above and beyond our roles to keep up with the ever-evolving social media landscape. And not only that, but just like always willing to help and educate each other and others at our organization and even within our community. We volunteer all the time, so I'm just really proud of everyone on this Dream Team.
I think what I also really enjoy about this team is that we get along really well and these relationships extend outside of work. So it's not uncommon for me to talk to my coworkers after work, on the weekends. We are invested in one another's, outside of work hobbies and passions. So Nora and I, for example, are in a reading club together where we have a challenge going. Hillary and I like to talk about Target and Chugi TikToks and things like that. So we do have these connections that extend just beyond the virtual walls of our agency. And I think that really kind of makes us the Dream Team. So thank you all so much. This has been great. And thank you to those of you who have tuned in. We hope you learned a little bit more about our social media Dream Team.